So this is page 2 of the exam, problems 3, 4, and 5. So I don't know why that says 1 there, but it should be a 3. Okay. Find the product and simplify right answer in standard form. Standard form is a plus bi. Okay. So we're multiplying. This is a FOILing situation. 28, 4i, minus 21i, minus 3i squared. Okay, so 28, that's fine. 4i and minus 21i, that's going to be minus 17i. But this I squared, you have to remember that's negative 1. So you have negative 3 times negative 1, which is positive 3. This is being multiplied here, okay? And it's a negative 3. Okay, so 28 and 3 make 31 minus 17i. So that was the answer there. Now over here, we're doing a similar thing. You can just write 5 plus 2i times 5 plus 2i, or you can use the formula for squaring a binomial or the smiley face thing. 5 times 5 is 25. You're going to get 10i plus another 10i. That happens when you're squaring the binomial. And then you're going to have plus 4i squared. So you've got the 25. You can combine the 10i and the 10i to make 20i. But then I squared is negative 1, so that becomes a minus 4. Now, combining the 25 and the minus 4, that's 21 plus 20i. You should have the real part and then the imaginary part. Okay, that's the answer there. Here we have a kind of division thing set up. We don't actually divide with complex numbers like this. We're going to multiply by the conjugate, which was 3 minus 2i. Most people got that part right. They knew to multiply by 3 minus 2i. Oops, 2i. But then either they did the top part or the bottom part or something went wrong. Anyway, in the numerator, you're going to have 4 times 3, which is 12. You're going to have 4 times, that's a minus 2i, so minus 8i. You're going to have a negative 15i. And then you're going to have a negative times a negative, positive 10i squared. That's the numerator. Now, I usually multiply the denominator out. There's some shortcuts to that, but then you have to remember more stuff. Anyway, 3 times 3 is 9. You get a minus 6i. Then you get a positive 6i. We're expecting that. We're expecting the minus 6i and the positive 6i to drop out. But then you have a minus, because positive 2 times a negative 2 is minus 4i squared. Okay, so the I squareds, they're both going to become a negative 1. So up here in the numerator, you're going to have a 12 minus, okay, the negative 8i and the negative 15i minus 23i minus 10 over, and then in the bottom you're going to have a 9. Right there's the 9. And then you're going to have a negative 4 times negative 1, which is going to be plus 4. So what you're getting is 2, because the 12 minus 10 is 2. And it's going to, well, I'll write it this way, minus 23i over 13, because I don't want to confuse you. That's what you have, but when we write it actually in a plus bi form, we split it up. So 2 over 13 minus 23 over 13i. Okay, that's the answer. Put a box around your answers. It makes it easier for me to find your answers. It says solve by the square root method. So that's how we want to solve this. That means you're going to take the square root of both sides. It's all set up for that. Don't forget to put the plus or minus in front. When you take the square root of both sides, you have to do that. And now you have the square root of negative 11. But that means that it's going to have an I. Where does the I go? It goes right there. So it goes between the plus or minus and the square root of 11. So the answers are minus I square root 11 and plus I, or positive I square root 11. You can just write it like this. I'm okay with that. Okay? Or you can put it in set notation. The next one, we're still solving by the square root method. Good thing, because we have something squared. So we're going to take the square root of both sides. When we do, we're going to put that plus or minus in there. The square root and the square, we talked about inverse functions recently. Those are inverse functions, so they're gone. You're back to where you started, x minus 3. Whatever this is in here, the square root and the square, they undo each other. So now you just have x minus 3 equals plus or minus the square root of 23. You have to bring the 3 over. You're going to be adding 3. And it's going to go right there. The 3. Okay, so x equals 3 plus or minus the square root of 23. Now I am going to take just a second to write those out nice and pretty. It's 3 minus the square root of 23, comma 3 plus the square root of 23. Those are solutions. That's a solution set. Okay, that was the answer to number 5.